Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is ATR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma Winter Battlefield. Our heroes today are going to be Once Ober, playing for the Soviets, and his opponent is going to be none other than xHoLyHammerx, playing for the Germans. So, well, Kholodny Ferma Winter Battlefield. I mean, you would have had to barely just picked up the game right now to not know this map, considering that this map has been around forever. But, well, pretty good map, pretty good all over, so yeah. Anyways, about the players, well, xHoLyHammerx, pretty sure everybody knows him. He is a very well-known player. Very high ranks. xHoLyHammerx is currently ranked, at the time of casting this changes pretty often actually, which is kind of nice to see that change nowadays, but at the time of casting this, xHoLyHammerx is currently ranked number 2 for his German, and number 4 for his Soviet play. So, easy to say he's pretty good. Also, he has been prominently being shown on the Sunday Night Fights tournament. He actually went all the way to the contender bout in the first week. Unfortunately for xHoLyHammerx, though, however, he didn't manage to win that. He was beaten out by Andy Rippin, which is no shame to xHoLyHammerx, considering that Andy Rippin is actually ranked number 1 currently on both Soviets and Germans. So, again, easy to say that was a pretty tough fight. Anyways, enough gushing here over xHoLyHammerx. Once Ober is no scrub himself. He is currently ranked 38 on the Soviets. I mean, I know it's, I guess, a little bit less impressive considering what xHoLyHammerx is, but, you know, still, that's pretty good. I mean, 38 in the global rank, I mean, that's pretty good. So anyways, let's take a look at the game and see what's going on so far. No engagements just yet, but we are currently running into the first one. You have Grenadiers and Conscripts down south, and they will run into each other and start shooting because they can't just get along. And there we go, first shots fired. 2 Grenadier squads against 1 Conscript, and we also hear an MG42 shooting somewhere, and that is over here in the north. Well, not north, center, I guess. Against that Conscript squad. Those Conscript squad over here in the center point gonna crawl into the house, trying to break that suppression. Molotov landing from Once Ober on one of the Grenadier squads, doing a little bit of damage, but they do end up having to retreat in the face of 2 Grand squads down to 3 men. Build order wise, we have xHoLyHammerx getting tier 1 like you would expect, and he got 3 Grents and an MG42. It looks like it was 2 Grents, MG42, then a 3rd Gren after that. MG42 getting harassed by that Conscript squad that jumped into the house. It does have a Gren squad there for support. Remember that MG42s do take 25% additional damage, so they do, you know, take a lot of punishment when they have a Conscript squad on top of them. And even with those Grens there for support, the MG42 is going to be having a very tough time of it. He's simply running it around xHoLyHammerx for some reason. There he goes, he retreats, so he was trying to prevent the Conscripts from actually getting the decap on this point. Very nice. And the Grens managed to do enough damage to force them off the field. So very nice there by xHoLyHammerx, allows them to keep that point. MG42 will get reinforced and then back on the field. Grens over here at the forward, or center of the map, jumping into this house, getting a better position and forcing away both Conscripts and Combat Engineers with the support of another Gren squad. Conscripts for Once Ober are down south, again capturing that point and moving in to engage. And Once Ober, tech-wise, did not get anything, just got himself Conscripts, 3 Conscripts into Molotov, and then a 4th Conscript after that. So, pretty standard there. So Conscripts being tied up a little bit here by the Grents in the house. 2nd Conscript squad moving in for support. We're probably going to see a Molotov being tossed by one of these Conscript squads, and the Grents are going to evacuate the house. There they go, out of the house, and the Grents are now blocked off. 2nd Molotov lands into the house. A little bit of an overkill there for Once Ober, but that does deny the house to pretty much anybody, at least for the time being. And over here on the southern cutoff point, that is very harassable. Once Ober tries to go for the cutoff, but with the Grenadier squad nearby, he plants it on the point and stops the decap. Wire getting laid down here by, I don't know who laid this one down. I would assume xHoLyHammerx? Interesting. Ooh. Conscript Squad going down on the southern cutoff point for once over. Got annihilated by the MG42 and the Grents. More Grents pushing forward. Holy Hammer is now up to 4 Grenadier squads with his MG42. No additional tech so far, but he is probably going to be getting something soon. Up north, we should see conscripts capturing territory. The north is currently in control for once over, and the battle is currently for the center. Conscripts are being able to capture this point. Actually, no. Looks like they lost one of their men, and all 3 men right here are standing right at the edge. There they go. Now they get into position and are going to start capping that point. Conscripts taking position in the shack. That is not the best shack to fight out of. Doesn't really have many windows. Has 2 on this side, 1 on this side, and then just 2 on the side facing the enemy. The door, unfortunately, even though you could potentially open it and shoot from there, you can't do that in this game because, well, you know, mechanics. So, Grants over here on the south, taking position behind that destroyed tank, getting heavy cover, shooting against combat engineers. The combat engineers are taking the point, taking quite a bit of a beating, but they are themselves in a little bit of cover. They have 2 men in heavy cover, while 2 more are standing outside. But the man over here is the one taking the shots, so his heavy cover is allowing him to stay alive. Grenadiers decide to disengage and continue to move to the south, after actually losing one of the Grenadiers to the combat engineers. A little bit of a shameful display there. Conscripts move up and get themselves into the cover of the tank. Molotov lands right in front of the tank, anticipating the Grenadiers from heading straight into the cover, but Holy Hammer decides to retreat them instead and send them back home. Tier 2 now up for Holy Hammer, and he gets himself a half-track from Tier 2. Very nice. That will allow him to support his Grents and, you know, well, heavy weapons as well, reinforce them on the field. We can probably expect a flamethrower to get upgraded very soon for this half-track, considering that Grents do not currently have any upgrades like LMGs. Once over did replace his lost conscript squad, and nothing yet as far as tech. We do see the armored assault tactics being selected as a doctrine for once over. Very nice doctrine. I wish I had that one. It gives you that intel ability and the ability to call in T-3485s and an IS-2, plus vehicle repairs and the Sturmovik attacks. Very nice, very well-rounded doctrine there, which allows you to do some very nice things. For example, well, just get either, you know, Tier 1 or Tier 2, or both of them if you wanted to, and save your fuel for heavy vehicles as call-ins instead of, you know, building them yourself. So Conscript here for once over pushes forward, very forward. Looks like it was trying to hunt down that MG42. MG42 is getting shot at by the Conscripts in the house. Does get down to 1 man and forced off of the field. But the Conscripts are now surrounded by both the half-track Pios Grenadiers. Second Conscript squad jump out of the house, and the third Conscript squad moving in for support, with the Grenadier squad retreating in between it. Very nice and very aggressive push here by once over. He is actually outnumbered as far as forces goes, and the flamethrower half-track pops its, well, flamethrowers. And those conscripts in that house are going to take quite a beating now, down to 2 men, get out of the house and retreat. They're going to have to retreat through all the German infantry. German infantry is otherwise engaged with the other conscript squad, so they might make it out alive. They do run through a Molotov, taking a little bit of extra damage, but down to 2 men, make it out alive. We see this house catching completely flame and is now detonating and will be collapsing rather soon. Pios move back and are going to reinforce on the half-track and also execute repairs, because an 18A did go off on the half-track, damaging that engine. Once over backs off with his conscript squad. The other conscript squad over here did manage to cap the point, disconnecting the entire southern side for Holy Hammer, and Holy Hammer has not even ventured to try to recap territory in the north. So Holy Hammer is currently cut off from the entire map, which is quite unfortunate for him. The southern side is still in his control, but not currently giving any income. Panzer Grenadiers on the field for Holy Hammer. They get into the field in force right on top of those conscripts, mauling them down on the retreat, and down goes the conscript squad for once over. So very bold maneuver there from once over, very aggressive, going for the cutoff and, well, disconnecting the entire territory, but he did suffer the price there with a conscript squad, which was now Veteran C2 at the time of retreating, getting shut down by those Panzer Grenadiers. House still detonating and finally collapsing in a pile of rubble and flame. Grenadiers hitting the field, Pios repairing their vehicles, and no additional tech. We do see Tier 2 going down for one sober, so he is going to be content. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm assuming he's going to be content to stay at Tier 2 and use the call-ins which, I mean, personally is what I would do if I had the Doctrine. But, you know, I mean, there's other ways of doing it, and it's, you know, potentially something for the late game, and you want to get something like a T-70 or something, you know, earlier out. 18A landing on the half-track, getting that damage on the engine, forcing it again to get repaired. AT gun set up in the center, taking some shots, but it doesn't look like it manages to hit anything. And we hear Molotovs landing on top of Grenadiers. This Grenadier squad is down to one man, and now Veteran C2 needs to retreat. Conscripts do shoot at it and execute it before it manages to retreat. Veteran C2 Conscript squad does get the increase on accuracy, which means that they are, well, putting out more damage. AT gun sets up in the center. Looks like it might have taken a shot at something, but the half-track is actually fine, so probably not the half-track. Up north, we finally see xHoLyHammer going for a little bit of a cap. He puts his MG42 in the house and gets his Grants capping. Maxim machine gun now on the field for once over. He sets it up in the house to be able to defend the center. There is a Grenadier squad in the church. And Ren's moving down south on the AT gun. Nice rifle nade on the AT gun, does a lot of damage to the men on the gun, doing about half damage to it, but they're still fully manned. Half-track takes a shot to the face from that AT gun and backs off completely. So xHoLyHammer not being able to seal the deal there. Nasty shot there by the AT gun, actually blows up the heavy cover truck there in the center. And we see that a pack gun is getting produced for xHoLyHammer. Also, Mortar got called in for once over, so yeah, it looks like he is going to be investing a lot in his tier 2. Still has 3 conscripts from, you know, before, although I suppose he did produce 5 in total. And the MG42 catches these conscripts up north. Molotov lands in the house, going to do a little bit of damage, but xHoLyHammer right on top of that exits the house and will let the flames die out before setting up again in there. So Blizzard going on right now, forcing both players to take a little bit of refuge and not be as aggressive. Slows down the game a little bit, which is why a lot of people don't like it, but well, it is part of the game and part of the map, so something you have to try to deal with. AT gun in the center, taking some shots at the church. Grenadiers decide to evacuate the church, not around wanting to risk anything. Conscript down south do run into the half-track, and again, down goes another 18-8, which, again, you could say why throw the 18-8 if you're not going to be able to finish it off. One side, you know, agrees with that, saying like, yeah, I mean, might be a waste. The other side is that remember that veterancy is based on damage, and simply throwing that 18-8 guarantees that you get damage on the tank, increasing the veterancy of your squad. So you can see, we'll see it later on again once it's not retreating, that squad is actually kind of close to veterancy 3 now because of those 18-8s.
Rifleman ready.
Down south, conscripts just moving around capping, and up north we also have xHoLyHammer capping with his Grents. MG42 set up near the fires just to keep warm, and we have the pack gun just holding position. Blizzard finally dying down, and I guess it's a okay time to look up the values for the veterancy again. Panzer Grenadiers for xHoLyHammer heading down south, running into those veterancy 1 conscripts. The Panzer Grenadiers do win this fight hands down. The conscripts do throw a Molotov on the Panzer Grenadiers, killing one of them instantly. And the Panzer Grenadiers continue to pursue. They are going to get probably 1 more kill on the retreat. They are 3 men with veterancy 2, which you don't want to lose. But they make it out alive at 3 men, so quite impressive there for those conscripts. And yeah, very nice. So Panzer Grenadiers go down south and are going to cap. Center of the map, we see the half-track moving around. The AT gun is now essentially flanked. It is going to turn to try to face the half-track. Half-track is now trying to flush out that Maxim machine gun, and the mortar is set up back here near the fires just to not, you know, get cold. And it actually lands a nice shot on the half-track. Very nice there by the Soviet mortar. Does about 25% damage and forces it to back off. Grenadiers in the center jump straight into the house after having the Maxim machine gun being forced out. Maxim machine gun currently retreating. Conscripts pushing forward. Molotov landing right on top of the Grents, burning one of those Grents alive. They do have to evacuate through the back door. And another Molotov lands into the house. Once over, wanting to make sure that, that the house is no longer usable. And the house catches fire. And it's going to start blowing up. The Grents decide to jump out. Oh, very nice shot there by the mortar. Nails that Grant squad down to 1 man. Almost clears it out. But the other Grant squad comes in to relieve its position and continue the cap. Conscripts pushing into the center, AT gun taking some pot shots as it can, but not really hitting anything. And down south, the Panzer Grenadiers are finally going to capture that point and are going to move up to flank these conscripts. The conscripts are going to get supported by the Max machine gun, which will probably guarantee a bundle nade right on top of these conscripts. The conscripts are doing a lot of damage, and the Panzer Grenadiers are throwing at the Maxim. Very nice, but only kills 2 of them. Almost detonates that mine. It was very risky there. 4 once over to be on top of that. And the Panzer Grenadiers retreat, making it out alive at 1 man. Very lucky there. AT gun is a little bit too far back. Doesn't manage to be in range to throw a shot at the... Very nice. Sorry. I was saying the AT gun was not in range of the half-track. It moves up and gets itself in range, and AT nade goes off on the half-track, getting that damage on the engine, and the AT gun nails it right on the frontal armor, bringing it down to about 5 or 10% health, but it barely manages to scurry away in reverse and make it out alive. Up north, we hear conscripts and grenadiers engaging, probably a rifle nade went out of the house, and center of the map is getting captured by that Maxim machine gun. Let's take a quick look at those veterancy values. The conscripts add veterancy 2, and we have actually veterancy 3 conscripts already coming out of the base. But the conscripts at veterancy 2, it says advanced rifle training improves weapon accuracy, which is correct. The conscripts get a 40% accuracy with veterancy 2, but a unmentioned... Oh no, these guys might die! The Grens are... Okay, no, they decide to turn around. Oh, very lucky conscripts out there. Anyways, the conscripts at veterancy 2 get 40% increased accuracy, but they also get a 25% range increase on their Molotov. So it's a pretty nice increase there. So it's something to keep in mind, even though it doesn't say it there. And at veterancy 3, oh, very nice shot there by the mortar. Collapses the house with the MG42 inside. So xHoLyHammer no longer has himself an MG42. Gonna have to replace that if he wants to get it back on the field. Very nice shot there by the mortar. That Soviet mortar has actually been doing a lot of work now at the veterancy 2. Veterancy 2, it says, improves battlefield surveys, increased shell accuracy and rate of fire. What that means is that it gives it minus 20% on its scatter and 30% horizontal traverse, which means, you know, how fast it reacquires target in its arc of fire, essentially. Nice Molotov Gallant here in the center, right on top of the Grens and the Panzer Grenadiers. The Grens taking the brunt damage of it. They are actually suppressed right on top of the flames. They're going to have to retreat or get killed. Max machine gun doing a little nice combo there, and the Grens do end up retreating. Panzer Grenadiers just scurry through the other side of the hedge and are moving to the left-hand side. Grenadiers moving up to the center, get themselves in heavy cover with an LMG gun, open up on the Maxim, and the mortar once again being quite brutal. Like I said, veterancy 2 gives it minus 20% scatter, so it's more accurate, and the actually, sorry, I don't know why I said about the traverse. I was looking at the wrong unit. Disregard that. That is me being stupid. Ooh, let's see if the mortar shot lands. No, they moved. Landing pretty close, and the mortar ends up retreating. So very nice push there by xHoLyHammer with that Gren, forcing away all those units. But yeah, the mortar gets minus 20% scatter, and the other thing is minus 40% ability recharge, which is the you know, the smoke and the mortar barrage and all these. Gets a 40% recharge protection. Conscripts at veterancy 3, it says that they get combat expertise increases squad survivability and weapon control while under fire. Oh, well, as much as they get more survivability with a Panzer Grenadier squad flanking them, they are going to take quite a lot of damage. And once over, brings in the big guns and gets himself an IS-2. So the IS-2 hitting the field, taking a shot, and killed 2 of those Panzer Grenadiers in one shot. It forces xHoLyHammer to react, and xHoLyHammer gets himself, well, had already gotten himself about 3 minutes ago, the Spearhead Doctrine, but he calls in the oh wait, no, never mind. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong guy. I thought a Tiger might have hit the field, but no, he's actually producing a Panther to be able to fight that that IS-2, because he doesn't actually have enough to get that Tiger just yet. So IS-2 in the center, taking some shots from the pack gun. The pack gun was, you know, on the field for a long time ago, but didn't really have much to do against. And the IS-2 takes a little bit of damage, down to about 75% health, needs to get repaired, and is currently heading down south just to, well, secure the area. So yeah, I mean that is what I was talking about with this doctrine. I mean, once over held up onto this up until this point of the game, just by simply having tier 2. Tier 2 gives him cis AT guns, which very nice shot there by the IS-2, nails 2 of the members of that pack gun. They continue to push and run away. IS-2 takes aim and is going to take another shot. It is going to get shot in return by the IS-2 and the Panther that hits the field, but the pack gun blows up into a pile of shrapnel. Panther goes for the circle strafe and the flank. The IS-2 taking quite a bit of damage to that Panther, but with the AT gun coming up for support, the Panther is trying to move away and just run. It runs to the other side of the H. The AT gun sets up and has it in its sights, but it is not being visible apparently. And the conscripts continue to move, and Panther just hides in the south. IS-2 needs to get some repairs, but unfortunately, Once Over actually doesn't have any combat engineers currently on the field, so he needs to produce a squad if he wants to repair that tank. Grens, and Panzer Grenadiers pushing forward. Massive machine gun right in front of them suppresses 2 of the squads. 3 squads get suppressed, but a rifle nade lands right on top of the Maxim machine gun, killing a lot of its members, down to 3 men, forces the retreat, and the infantry will continue to push forward. Mortar for Once Over, nailing one of those Grenadier squads down to 2 men, very low health, would actually die very quickly in a firefight, and the Panther is pushing forward. Second Panther on the field. No, actually, it's the same Panther. Heading straight into the AT gun, takes a shot in the front armor by the AT gun, and is now pursuing that IS-2. The IS-2 is at about 50% health, sorry. And the Panther does manage to get the decrew on that AT gun. A very nice control there by xHoLyHammerx, and he lost everything. He called in a mortar. And the half-track also went down. So yeah, the mortar half-track got called in and got cleared out by, looks like, conscripts. We also have the AT gun getting cleared out and the half-track as well. So all we have left is the IS-2 and the Panther on the field. xHoLyHammerx taking quite a bit of losses, now down to 2 Grens and a Panzer Grenadier as his only combat infantry on the field. While Once Over still has his 3 conscripts and now 2 machine guns. Oh, very nasty shot there by that IS-2. Clears out the Panzer Grenadier squad, so xHoLyHammerx now in a very difficult position. And sorry about that. And yeah, he has to put some repairs on his Panther, get it back to full strength, and the Grens are just trying to cap as much as they can right now. Southern side of the map currently decapped by that AT gun for Once Over. xHoLyHammerx in a difficult position, and the Maxim machine gun is at the front. And second Maxim machine gun going to the north for cap. Veteran C2 Maxim machine gun now retreating. We have Grens in the center. Mortar half-track once again called into the field for xHoLyHammerx, hitting that Maxim machine gun, forcing it away, and the second Grens squad moving in for support. So unfortunately for xHoLyHammerx, he doesn't have infantry on the field to be able to keep control of the map, and we see the north is starting to get capped by Once Over. That IS-2 is also at about, what is that, maybe 60% health. Still no combat engineers for Once Over. He's finally producing one, but I believe he used the vehicle crew self-repair ability that you get with the Doctrine, so pretty nice and handy there to have that. And the Panther is at about 80% health, still a little bit off to be able to shoot back, Panzer Grenadiers getting produced for xHoLyHammerx, trying to replace his forces and, well, desperately keep a foothold on the map. Victory point wise, 299 for Once Over and 333 for xHoLyHammerx, so xHoLyHammerx still in the lead as far as that. Half-track gets caught by the IS-2 and the conscripts. Conscripts Veteran 3 doing quite a lot of damage. Nasty shot there by the Panther on those conscripts, actually nails one of them, and the Grens end up having to retreat. So anyways, again, we were saying about the Veteran C3 on the conscripts, that is increases survivability and weapon control while under fire. What that means is that it gives them 30% armor, a 20% reduction in cooldown, so, you know, shooting a little bit faster, and a 25% recharge on the AT grenades, which is quite nice. Grenadiers Veteran C2 says advanced rifle training improves weapon accuracy. That means 40% accuracy as well, and a 25% range on the rifle name. And Verity 2 is survivability and weapon control while under fire, gives it 30% armor, 30% cooldown, and 25% recharge of Panzer Miles. So quite the same as Panzer. Anyways, enough of that. IS-2 and Panther duking it out right here in the center. Grenadiers forcing away those conscripts, but with the support of the AT gun, the Panther might actually lose this fight. The IS-2 is taking quite a beating, now down to about 25% health. It does have combat engineers nearby, and here goes the blitzkrieg on the Panther, trying to get itself behind the AT gun and the IS-2. The AT gun does get flanked by the Panther, and the IS-2 continues to back off. The Panther trying to get behind it. AT gun turns around and is going to be able to shoot at that Panther. And can the Panther finish off the IS-2? So for some reason, however, xHoLyHammer decided not to get himself behind the IS-2 and try to hit the rear armor. Still doing quite a bit of damage to the frontal armor, but the IS-2 is now out damaging that Panther. The Panther is now down to about 15% health. IS-2, one more shot should finish it off, and there it goes. Panther now down. xHoLyHammer loses his armor, and I really don't know what else he can do. He has 2 Grens and a Panzer Grenadier Squad left on the field. Panzer Grenadier Squad going down south, and both Grens are currently back at base. And one Sober has everything on the field that he could ever want, including a very heavy IS-2. And yeah, xHoLyHammer notices that that is in fact the case, and he decides to throw in the towel. Which again, I mean, at that point, can't blame him. Unfortunately for xHoLyHammer, he wasn't able to get that Tiger out. The Tiger might have been able to deal a little bit better with that IS-2. It does, actually. We've seen it that head-on, unsupported, pretty much the Tiger always wins. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of things on the field for one Sober, so it still could have been the same scenario regardless. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time.